Hello, Libra, and welcome to Hoodie Priestess Tarot. I am Jodine, and happy to read for you again. I hope that you're having a good week and that you are not being too disrupted by all the turmoil in the world. Chances are probably pretty good that you're getting hit with something, fire or flood or high prices, uncertainty. There's a lot going on. I just hope that this reading finds you as well as you can be and happy. I'm going to start with an oracle card for you from the Dreamsong Oracle, and then we will do a 3-card tarot spread with clarifiers. For Libra, let us open up a channel and bring messages for Libra. See where Libra is, validate Libra. What is it that Libra needs to hear? And let us begin. Oracle card for Libra, please. Well, we have 2. We have inhale permission, exhale relief. Inhale permission, exhale relief, which is a number 19. And also what came out for you is share your bounty. Have you planted a garden this year, Libra? You're probably getting a pretty good harvest. All right, let's see what they say. We'll start with number 5, share your bounty. Don't waste another minute wondering if what you've achieved or what you are is enough. This is a moment to acknowledge all you've accomplished. It's time to share your creations, your blessings, talents, and skills. You've cultivated them long enough, and now they lay in your lap like harvested bounty. Trust what you have cultivated, no matter what reality tells you will be useful or appreciated. This is not a time to hide your light under modesty or question the value of your contribution. Share, reveal, offer. Let the inspiration you have received through your life encourage you that someone out there is waiting for your turn as muse. When you share your particular genius, you pass on permission for others to share theirs. Abundance is contagious. Well, Libra, it looks like you have been accomplishing many things. And now you have a lot to share. All right, let's look at inhale permission and exhale relief. Number 19. This is a very pretty card. I don't know where you are, but rabbits rule the roost around here. We have a lot of rabbits. Inhale permission, exhale relief. The stress created when we're in fix-it mode can drive us to stack. Stacking is when you layer one unsolvable situation onto another, and before you know it, you're smothered in overwhelm, unable to breathe. Here's the rule for the moment. When you can't get to joy, get to relief. Forget about solutions or completion or fixing. Take a moment to inhale permission. You got to this juncture honestly, doing the best you could. Accept it as temporary. Exhale the worry that you'll never be enough to or figure out. Accept it as temporary. Exhale the worry that you'll never be enough or figure it all out. Just find the nearest thought that brings you relief and follow that thought with some kind of action. one thought at a time, one tiny action at a time. Be the inhale and the exhale. Your mind will begin to make more room for possibilities. Yes, you have a very full life. I can see that from these two oracle cards. You've been achieving a lot, but you still have a lot going on and might be feeling a little overwhelmed. All right, let's draw 3 tarot cards and see, Libra, if by chance the 7 of Cups turns up anywhere. Should we place a wager on it? The 7 of Cups is the card of overwhelm. All right, here we go. This will be a 3-card spread for Libra, and we're using the Enchanted Forhaxa deck. If you haven't heard me talk about this deck before, Forhaxa is a Swedish word and it means bewitched. For Libra, please. Messages for Libra, please. What do we have for Libra? And this is a timeless reading. I'm not dating it so that anytime you find it, it will be valid. You have 2 cards coming out here. One is the 3 of Earth, which is a card of collaboration and working on something great, working on a great project, doing some sort of great work in collaboration with others. If you haven't seen this deck before, the Enchanted Forhaxa is based on mermaids and fairies. And you also have the Magician. So you are in full creator mode. Libra, it looks like you are extremely busy in your life, but that you are working on things that you are very passionate about and that you're having lots of opportunities to be creative. Okay, so 2 cards came out there. We still have 2 more positions in this spread. For Libra, please. For Libra. Oh, we have a whole clump trying to fall out. All right, for Libra, please. And now we have the Wheel of Fortune. Things go up, things go down, things change, the wheel turns, we move on. So things may be changing, or you may be preparing for things to change. All right, and one more position to fill in the spread for Libra, please. For Libra, something is flipped over here, and it is the Hanged Man. In this deck, I think this is a very beautiful deck, but this is a card I'm not particularly satisfied with. Now, the Hangman is a card where a person hangs upside down by 1 foot, usually from a tree, and that way they can spin in a complete circle and see the entire world, getting the big picture. And because they're hanging upside down, they have a different perspective than they used to have, and probably a different perspective than anybody else, as you might imagine. In this card, they have depicted it as a bat holding the fairy's feet somehow. I only know this because I looked in the book and read the description of this picture. But I have a really hard time making out exactly where the bat is. I can see a bat wing, but it's a confusing card, but the meaning still holds. Okay, so we've got some time of suspension. So if you're going to hang upside down and get a different perspective, you are probably feeling just like a moment of pause. I mean, the way all of these cards are working together, I just see a very busy and very productive person who is probably on the precipice of some sort of shift in your life. It could be a cyclical shift or a seasonal shift. It could be something that you go through all the time because we are, getting to the changing of the seasons. Or it could be something is changing for the first time that's never changed before. I don't know. But you do seem to be aware that something is going to change for you. And it seems like you are taking a pause to just sort of ease into that change or consider how things are going to change or how you're going to reorient. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Air. This would correlate to the Two of Swords in other decks. This, of course, is a choice, as all twos are. They're about making decisions and making choices. However, in this card, we are confronted with a person who knows they have a choice to make, but in the process of making that choice, there's information that they're purposefully choosing not to see. Okay? There's some sort of truth that they're not admitting to themselves, or they're putting up a psychic or mental block to keep something out purposefully. There's something they know that they really don't want to know. Knowing it would mean taking some different course of action than they want to take. Let's draw some clarifiers. That's just sitting off to the side. It hasn't come out in the cards for the main reading. Let's see now. Please show me clarifiers on the Three of Earth and the Magician. Please show me clarifiers on the Three of Earth and the Magician for Libra. Thank you. For Libra, we have the Sun. Oh, very nice. That's a strong Leo energy, if that means anything to you. What else do we have? Here we have the Knight of Pentacles, something taking its slow time, moving slowly, but very reliable, very steady but not fast progress. And one more card, please, on the Three and the Magician. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have a lot of earth. We've got fire and earth. We've got sun and earth. It just reminds me of gardening somehow, or working with the earth, or doing something, some sort of tangible work with the hands, doing some sort of material thing. You are creating something, growing something, building something, doing something with your hands, something outside. You may be in collaboration with other people to do something. You're creating something. You're nurturing a new project. Or you could be feeling so happy about doing this work. We do have the Sun here. It's a card of brightness, warmth, energy, all good things, fuel of the world. You know, you could be feeling so good that it actually is nurturing to you to be doing whatever it is you're doing. Now, we're going to look at this Wheel of Fortune. The wheel is going to shift. Something's going to change. Let's find out more about that. For Libra, please show me clarifiers on the Wheel of Fortune for Libra. For Libra, the Wheel of Fortune. Please clarify the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh. It's getting slippery around here for Libra. And we have the Page of Swords. Being watchful or preparing to learn something. We'll decide after we know more which one it is. What else here on the Wheel of Fortune for Libra, please? What else? The Emperor. This could be a father figure. This could be an older person, probably a man, but not necessarily. It could be a boss figure. Somebody is keeping an eye on you, or you're keeping an eye on them, or you're going to be learning something new in the workplace, or something is happening, but it's not necessarily nice. This is the card of brokenheartedness. It's an interesting card to come up here. There's been some change. There's been some change in a relationship, perhaps with a divine masculine. You're learning something about them that has changed how you feel about them. Perhaps they've changed how they feel about you, Libra. Let's go ahead and look at the Hanged Man, this one suspended. We have something else flipped over here. Oh, Libra, it is the Ten of Swords. There's been some sort of betrayal. Something has changed. I wager in this relationship with this, whoever this represents in your life. Somebody is feeling betrayed and there's some wounding. Is that you or is that them? In the middle of this very productive life. Interesting. And that's in the middle column. That's really the heart of the reading, you know, just spatially how it lays out. Does that have anything to do with this Two of Swords, this reality that we don't want to look at? All right, please show me the Hanged Man in the Libra reading. Please give me clarification on the Hanged Man for Libra. For Libra, cards of clarification on the Hanged Man. Lovers. This would indicate there is a relationship. It could be a romantic relationship or it could be some other sort of relationship. But whatever kind of relationship is substantial. It's not casual. It's not an acquaintance. This is a substantial, important relationship in your life. And there's been some change in it. Okay. And what else? There's been some change in the way that you all work together. So we've got this Three of Pentacles here now twice. Okay, Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles mean the same thing. These are people working together on a great project. They're creating something, they're building something, they're running something. So this relationship we can see is within your working or creative community. Perhaps you're an artist. Okay, what else do we have here? Because we also have the Magician. This could be an artist. This could be people building a business. It could be people building a romance. And then we have the Three of Wands. Now, a lot of times this is associated with waiting, because you can see that a man is waiting either for his ship to come in or his ship to go out, or both. But it is also a card of what we manifest for the future. You know, this really is about business. This is an entrepreneur. This is somebody manifesting a business. So is this what you're working on? Are you working on building a business with somebody? And has there been some change between you and another person who you're working with that is causing to feel like there's been some sort of betrayal or heartache? What is here is the Wheel of Fortune again. So now the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck is sitting with the Wheel of Fortune at the heart of the reading. Something's changing. we're learning something, or we're watching something, or somebody is watching somebody, keeping an eye on somebody, gathering information, or just being observant. Underneath the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Tower. So something is shifting. The bottom is dropping out of something. The bottom is dropping out of the relationship. Here is the Wise One in this deck, otherwise known as the Hierophant in other decks. Now, this would be a card about many things, but in this reading, it looks like a card about where our commitments are. Also, the idea of having commitments comes up in the Lover's card. The Lover's card traditionally is about having to choose between two things and where your commitments will lie. Are you perhaps thinking about leaving where you are and striking out on your own? Because this is the card of the single person. I'm drawing this out of the deck, by the way. Are you thinking about going off on your own? Has there been some sort of fight? You've made a lot of investment in what you're doing. Has it paid off? Are you looking at where you've invested your time or your money or your talents or your skills? And are you analyzing whether or not you've got a good return on that investment? And you're also looking at your long-term goals, the guiding goals in your life, where it is that you ultimately want to go. I think all of that is definitely up for change, Libra. Underneath this Two of Swords, this is the one who doesn't really want to consider all the information when they're making a decision. Okay, they know it. And they know what that information is. They just don't want to consider it. They don't like to look at it. But underneath that is the Queen of Swords, and she definitely will look at it. She is the one who can come and make hard decisions. Queen of Air, Queen of Swords. She has her sword. She can make budget cuts, so to speak. And she will take out her file and analytically go over all the information that she has. This would be the Knight of Fire, the Knight of Wands. Somebody who's going to take passionate action. So something has gone on here in an otherwise very productive, and it looks like satisfying life, Libra. I am going to consult with the crows, the urban crows. I think they will give good insight in this reading. So let's look at this oracle and see what it has to say for Libra. Urban Crow, please give us some insight or some good advice or some perspective for Libra as they are dealing with challenging changes to a life that has a very productive flow. All right, for Libra, thank you. Let's see what we will get here. Excuse me, I've dropped one on the floor. Yeah, you have two cards that came out from the crows. One is number 14, Distance. And also number 52, Warning. All right, Libra, I think we should look at these. So let's do that. Number 52. Warning. This card was created during the height of the smoke from the Eastern Washington wildfires that infiltrated the city. Boy, this is something we're all dealing with in my region of the world right now, southeastern Minnesota. Crows have scouts that sit high up over all the action to serve as a lookout. This now, I got to stop. This reminds me of the Page of Swords, who can sometimes have the reputation of a spy. That's kind of on the far continuum, but this is a watcher and observer and somebody who is seeking to learn something. All right, let me go on. Sorry to interrupt the flow there. Okay. It is their job to spot the signs and warn others of danger. Warning indicates the signs are around you. Something less than favorable is approaching. And your attention is needed to ensure you have time to react. Warning brings to your awareness the red flags that you may be missing or denying, putting you in a less than desirable situation. I have to stop and just say, here we are back at the Two of Swords. You know the information, but you don't want to look at it. Warning brings to your awareness the red flags that you may be missing or denying, putting you in a less than desirable situation. Libra, if you know something, don't listen to your intuition, Libra. What is your gut telling you? Okay, let me go on now. From the employer who always pays a day or two late, to the partner who never seems to want to be seen together out in public. Too often, we make excuses in an attempt to dismiss the warning so as to avoid accepting the reality, Libra. Warning signs appear throughout various scenarios in our lives. Sometimes it takes a friend or someone on the outside to point out what we don't want to acknowledge. When this card appears in a reading, consider the signs that you have received. Do they shed a light on a situation that you may have been avoiding? Okay, what a strong card to come out in this reading. All right, let's look at distance. This might be a good card to look at too. I'm so sorry if I'm bringing you news, Libra, that you don't want to hear, but I suspect you already know these things. Okay, it's just drawing you to focus on it. Distance. To get the lay of the land, sometimes you need to take a look from a distance. Distance indicates that you would be best served by taking a step back so that you can see the big picture. The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man hangs upside down to get the big perspective, the big picture, to see all the way around. Okay? The cards in this reading are just uncanny, Libra, how they're echoing and harmonizing with each other. You may be focusing too narrowly on one area while there is a whole world out there to explore. You may need to consider if growth within a situation or a relationship is at risk of being stunted due to being overcritical or nitpicky. Are you able to see the potential even if there are a few flaws? Of course, you might find distance appears when you are too focused on one positive aspect of a situation or event while missing all of the negative outcomes that may potentially exist. Distance asks if you are too close to a situation to remain impartial or unbiased. You might benefit from taking a leave of absence or literally putting some distance between you and the situation by taking a trip. Well, that just, one thing I always say about the Crow Oracle, the crows will tell it to you straight. They'll tell it like it is. Okay, Libra, that's what I have for you. That's what I see in the cards on the table. Listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. Yes. Don't ignore things. Don't ignore the red flags. And I hope all goes well for you until we meet again, my dear. Take care. Bye-bye.